Hello. This week we are beginning our study of collection development. Collection development addresses two of the roles of the school librarian. The school librarian as information specialist and the school librarian as program administrator. As information specialist, the school library media specialist provides leadership and expertise in the selection, acquisition, evaluation, and organization of information resources and technologies in all formats, as well as expertise in the ethical use of information. As program administrator, the school library media specialist works collaboratively with members of the learning community to define the policies of the library media program and to guide and direct all activities related to it. One of your most important jobs as a school librarian is to provide access to information. We provide for all students by making sure our collection covers all areas of interest to teachers and students. Knowing that we have diverse populations in our schools, we make sure we have something that will appeal to everyone. Providing materials on all reading levels increases the number of students who will use your collection. Knowing your students and providing for those with physical and learning disabilities will open up your collection to more students. We also provide access in students' homes by making sure parents are aware of all the library's resources. You will use technology to accomplish many of these tasks. So what is a collection? Your collection consists of everything a patron checks out or uses in the Library Media Center. And by patron, I am referring to students, parents, teachers, any of the people that you serve. So your collection includes any information that your patrons can find, not only on your shelves in the Media Center, but also beyond your walls using the online resources you select for your school. Now, traditionally, we think of a collection as the materials that are physically located in the Media Center. In addition to traditional items like books, magazines, newspapers, maps and globes, DVDs and CDs, you may also have new portable devices such as e-readers or leapfrogs. Today, your collection isn't restricted to the items that you own and that are housed in your media center. Your collection should contain internet resources, links to electronic subscription services, and you should also connect with your public library. Items from other buildings in your district, classroom libraries, and district class sets can also be accessible through your network. The purpose of your Media Center collection is to support learning. As such, the material selected for inclusion must support the curriculum. This means that all decisions should be based on sound data regarding the reading level, developmental level, interests, and needs of your students. Your collection must satisfy all these needs and more. Your clients include students, teachers, administrators, parents, staff, members of the community, and anyone else connected with the learning community. So how do you decide what to add to the collection? Well, think about the needs of users today. How do you meet the needs and desires of young people who have become so used to gaining quick access to any information they want, when they want it? What resources do students need to reach their full educational potential? How can you support teachers in their job and in their professional growth? How do you balance the needs of everyone in your school and community, given today's limited financial resources? You cannot own everything that students and teachers might need, but providing access is the key. Collection development is a process. Sometimes it is also known as collection management. It involves the identification, selection, acquisition, maintenance, and evaluation of library resources. It is a cyclical process that never ends. And the goal is to meet the expressed, current, and potential needs of the people it is intended to serve. Collection development is a cycle that involves a number of phases that are repeated over time, including establishing an area of need through some formal or information community and collection analysis, examining the existing collection for materials, developing a selection policy maintaining specific criteria, and recommending a set of materials that would address the need. How do you decide what to buy? A collection development policy is a good starting point for purchasing decisions. This policy is a written plan developed to prioritize, support, and explain your purchasing strategy for the library collection. Creating a collection development policy results in a well-rounded and up-to-date collection of books, magazines, newspapers, online databases, equipment, audiovisual material, and anything coming down the road. The written plan states goals for your collection that should integrate with your school goals. It explains the purpose for purchasing items and who is responsible for buying, processing, and caring for items purchased. The policy should include selection criteria, reconsideration of challenged materials, and weeding. In order to protect the collection, a clear copyright policy also needs to be in place. The policy should be revisited annually and revised to reflect changes in your school, curriculum, and community. The selection policy is based on and guides actual selection practice. It includes a statement of the goals and objectives of the Library Media Center, covers the needs of the clientele in the building, and describes any unique needs, such as special programs of study. The community that a given school serves has a particular demographic and socioeconomic makeup. Your particular school may have a large population of students who need ESOL services, or your school might serve the Career Academy, so you want to provide resources to support that. Only by being aware of factors unique to your school and surrounding community can you be sure that the collection is meeting the needs of the students in the school. It is a given that the collection should support the curriculum taught in the school, but we know curriculum does change. For example, you might have a new textbook adoption that changes the focus in a particular subject area. I remember when I worked in the elementary school library, I had purchased a lot of books on Canada to support the 5th grade curriculum. I had just gotten a $300 order when I found out that Canada was now being moved to the 6th grade, which I did not serve. You live and learn, but it does happen. Changes in your curriculum require frequent evaluations of the collection to make sure that you are truly providing curricular support. For example, if the collection development policy states that you are going to provide materials to meet the recreational reading needs of students, then you need to conduct an analysis of popular trends, student interests, and hot titles to meet that goal. By the way, I sent the Canadian materials up to the middle school that our school fed. An important element of the selection policy is stating who is responsible for selection decisions. These statements usually acknowledge that the school board is legally responsible and delegates to the media specialist the authority to select. A statement that identifies who participates in the selection process also should be included. This statement indicates the role and level of involvement of teachers, students, administrators, staff, and community members in the selection process. The policy may also state how input for selection is gathered from teachers and students. I had a media committee in my school that had teachers, administrators, parents, typically from the PTO, and also students. I think it is important to get the input of all of the people that you are serving. The decision is not yours alone to make. People who read any selection policy should learn the grade levels and ages of students the collection will serve, the formats of the material to be included, and special geographic needs. For example, schools on either coast might need more materials on the oceans than schools in the Midwest. It's possible. A statement may also be included regarding availability of and use of materials in neighboring libraries. Criteria, or the standards used to evaluate items, are a major component of selecting materials. One must establish criteria for assessing each item and its relationship to the collection as a whole. Generally, criteria used to evaluate materials include literacy quality, currency, accuracy of information, appeal and value to students, application within the curriculum, and quality of presentation and format, as just a few. You will also need to establish selection criteria and policies related to specific formats, including electronic formats that are accessed online through the internet. With the advent of new technologies such as e-readers, your criteria should include, your policy should include criteria for purchasing those. You should also include a section in your policy that deals with intellectual freedom and the handling of controversial materials. Most school districts do have written policies that address this topic. The section of the selection policy on grievances should contain specific procedures to be followed when a grievance is filed. This procedure must be carefully described and cover as many contingencies as can be predicted. Your policy should also include a statement that your school media center supports the principle of intellectual freedom and explain why it is important to maintain that. This may also be a good place to refer to the First Amendment to the Constitution or any other documents that support intellectual freedom. Your selection policy might consider these other elements. For example, gifts. Typically, your policy states that gifts should meet the same criteria as other materials. So, what do you do with items then that are given to you that are not appropriate? Does your school library media center concern itself with textbooks? Your policy should include information on that. Consider online resources. What do you buy when the state funds a virtual library? In our case, in Georgia, Galileo. What do you do when Galileo or parts of it goes away? These are all things that need to be included. Technology does change, and changes in technology do affect collection development.